When I was in 8th grade, one day a classmate of mine came to school with a large wad of cash. It wasn't a whole lot, but as an 8th grader, it seemed like a lot. It was probably $100 or $200. And I just got really envious. And he bragged that he had a lot of cold hard cash. It was the first time I ever heard that phrase. I When I was 19 years old, a classmate and we both had our birthdays within a week of each other, so we decided to hold our birthday party together at his house. He had invited a number of friends over. I think there were a couple gambling buddies and his girlfriend. His gambling buddies came first and repaid him a gambling debt. It was in the low thousands, if I remember correctly. He collected the cash, and his eyes really lit up. It was like he had found his calling or something. It looked like a lot more than just somebody coming into a lot of money. His eyes really lit up. I think he just loved gambling. And then later, his girlfriend showed up, and he hardly flinched at that. But his eyes really lit up when he was collecting the gambling debt. And when I saw it, I felt sorry for his girlfriend. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I was interested in stealing his girlfriend. I just felt sorry at his attitude about the whole thing. And then I love to play backgammon. Here's some lucky dice that I like to use. These are made of 99.9% silver. And this is, I'm not sure what kind of crystal this is. I was driving through Oregon one time and stopped at a rock and crystal store. And I thought, wow, this would make a great doubling cube. And so I bought it and I taped some labels onto it to make it into a doubling cube for the purposes of backgammon. And unfortunately, part of the problem with backgammon is that people love to bet huge amounts of cold hard cash. And sometimes some of the better divisions I wish I could play at are a little bit unaffordable to me. But sometimes at the big tournaments, I'll ask if they're interested in doing a man versus machine event. I have the number one AI for the game of Backgammon, which I started writing a little bit over 2 years ago. And next week we have the TCGA, Taiwanese Computer Gaming Association. I'm going to compete against another Backgammon AI. I don't get to compete against XG there. XG is the number 2 right now, but they only compete in the big ICGA, International Computer Game Association tournament. And we'll probably turn on our cameras and roll some dice, and I'll roll my lucky dice and use my lucky doubling cube. Anyways, let's roll some dice and do some fortune telling about how much cold hard cash. Well, there's no prizes at the TCGA, but hopefully next year in New York, they'll do a man versus machine. I was going to do it this year, but they were mostly meeting in person. There were so few online events. Hopefully next year I'll go to New York. There's still the Backgammon Association. Unfortunately, they're a little bit more concerned about the health mandates. Some places you have a choice between. Well, I hate to mention it because there could be more health mandates to come. But at the New York tournament, they required this one procedure that I don't want to take. Hopefully by next year, things will wind down a little bit, and I'll get to go there and do a man versus machine event, which they're looking forward to, actually. And that, I don't know if there'll be a prize of cold hard cash. I had a dream one time that I won a lot of cold hard cash at a backgammon tournament. In the dream, it was like millions of dollars, and the director, he was shaking my hand and giving me a big stack of cold hard cash. And I just felt relieved, and then the director of the tournament, he asked me, what are you going to do with all this money? I said, well, now I can afford to play more. And that's literally how I feel about it. I love playing. I would never consider a backgammon career of any sort. I just love playing, and sometimes it's a little bit out of my reach. So if I won $1 million, it would just fund more backgammon playing. That's how I feel about it. Well, oh, this is a lucky roll for me, because single lives matter, right? One, and also 3 is very important to me because when I'm single, I like to be accepted by couples and be able to join them in various events. Now, five, which is a bad role in backgammon openings because fives don't really move very well. If you know backgammon, you'll know what I mean. But when I was a kid, I used to procrastinate a lot. My mom would come wake me up in the morning to go to school, and I would ask for 5 more minutes. And in Chinese, the number five is pronounced "oo." It's really fun to say when you're stressed out. Come on, let's go to school. You got to wake up. You got to go to the ICGA. Let's go to the backgammon tournament. I'm so tired. I don't want to. Ooh. And so it's become synonymous with procrastinating. Anyway, so maybe I won't win a whole lot of cold hard cash, but I'll be accepted for being single at the tournament. And that's actually more important to me. Unlike my friend who was more impressed by cold hard cash than by his love life. Right, my love life is with myself, so that's more important to me. Thanks for watching.